So today I'm going to be showing you how to make a child's growth chart ruler. I don't know about you, but whenever I was growing up, my mom just marked the inside of door jamb once a year. However, after 13 years, we ended up moving houses and she lost all that information. So with a growth chart ruler, you can put this on the wall and chart your child's height, but then if you ever move, you can simply take it down and take it with you. So I'm going to show you how to make one. So the first thing I do when lining one of these out is I figure out which end of the board I want to start on. And now these rulers actually start at 6 inches and then they're mounted 6 inches off of the floor. And they're made this way in order to not interfere with your existing baseboards. So what I do is I move the 6 inches flush with the end of one of the sides, and then I go through and I see where each one of these foot markers lines up on the board. And what I'm trying to avoid is placing a foot marker right on top of one of these knots. Because even though I like the knots to be on the ruler, they had a little bit of character, I don't want them to be on top of a knot because then it just kind of distorts it a little bit. But this actually looks really good. But if it were the case to where it landed right on top of a knot, what I would do is flip around and start from the other end and see if that lined it out better. But since this looks good, I'm going to go ahead and start on this end.
I flipped my board around so that I could work on that side of it and clamped down a tape measure at 6 inches, then just started making a mark at every inch. My personal system is I find the inch, then go 1/8 to the right and 1/8 to the left, marking both locations. So my marks end up being 1/4 inch wide, but the center of the line is true to the measurement.
Alright, now I'm going to go through and line out how long each one of these inch markers needs to be. Now just personal preference, but I like to make my inch marker, 1/2 inch, and 3/4 inch vary in sizes, just because I think it makes it look more like a ruler in the end. But I have seen rulers where they keep all the inch markers the same size and it still turns out looking great. So know that you have options. I personally use a combination square and just a pencil.
So I make each one of the inch markers 1 inch long. Then the 1/4 and 3/4 inch mark 1.5 inches long. The half is 2 inches long, and each foot is 3 inches long. With all my marks laid, I use my ruler to make sure each foot section looks right. To line out where my numbers need to go, I find the foot mark, come down 2 inches, and then make a horizontal line. Then I come in 1 inch under the foot mark and make a 3 inch vertical line. This gives me a location to line my 3 inch number up to, and then I can just trace it out.
Okay, with everything lined out, and I've triple checked that everything is as it should be, I can start burning it in. Now the type of wood burner that I use is a $15 soldering iron that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. Now the tip I use is flat on both sides and comes to a point, but again, that's just personal preference.
To make sure that I get really clean lines, I actually go through and I outline the markers first. And I know I hold that iron oddly, but I've made over 100 of these and this is what I found works best. Now, something to note, I'm not applying a lot of downward pressure. I'm just gliding over the surface in order to get a steady burn. With the outlines done, now I go back and just start filling it in. Again, I'm not applying downward pressure. When the iron loses too much heat to where it's not leaving an even burn anymore, just take a short minute break and allow it to heat up again. And then I repeat the process on the numbers. First go through and make an outline, and then I come back and fill it in. Then I erase the pencil marks that I made earlier, and then just cut the ruler to size.
And that's it. Now I do typically put on a coat of stain. However, this is a baby shower gift, so I'm leaving it natural to give them the option of staining it or not. But if you want to see a fully finished stained ruler, you can check out my website, which is wilkerson.com. I already have a step-by-step tutorial posted there with photos. So if you scroll down to the very end, you'll see the finished stained ruler. And there's also a photo of a ruler where I've taken a child's name and burned it in along the side. So give you an idea on how you can kind of customize these. So leave me your thoughts below, and I'll see you next time. On the board, and even though I like to have knots on, that doesn't make any sense. Just fall down randomly.